If you're serious about soil health and long-term fertility, this method might completely change how you compost in your garden beds. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to the Evergreen Garden channel and drop a comment below telling me what crops you're growing this season, because what I'm about to share works across vegetables, fruit trees, and even ornamental beds. I layered banana peels and paper directly into my soil using what's known as the compost tunnel method, and the results were not subtle. They were fast, measurable, and honestly shocking. Why the compost tunnel method works better than surface composting is something many gardeners overlook. Most organic matter breaks down slowly when left on top of the soil, especially in dry or hot conditions. The compost tunnel method places biodegradable materials directly into the root zone, where moisture, microbes, worms, and soil life are already active. Instead of waiting months for nutrients to trickle down, you feed the soil exactly where plants can access it. This is not a replacement for compost piles, but it is a powerful supplemental technique that accelerates nutrient cycling. What banana peels actually contribute to soil fertility is more than just potassium, although potassium is a big part of the story. Banana peels contain potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and trace elements, along with natural sugars that feed soil microbes. When buried properly, banana peels act as both a nutrient source and a microbial stimulant. The sugars attract bacteria and fungi, which then unlock nutrients already present in the soil. This creates a chain reaction that improves plant uptake far beyond what fertilizers alone can do. Why plain paper plays a critical role in this system surprises many gardeners. Paper, when uncoated and ink-light, is primarily carbon. Soil biology thrives on balance, not excess nitrogen. Banana peels are relatively nitrogen-rich and moist, which can lead to slimy decomposition if used alone. Paper absorbs moisture, improves aeration, and provides carbon that stabilizes the breakdown process. It also creates a loose structure underground that earthworms love. Worms move in quickly, dragging nutrients deeper and distributing them evenly. How I built the compost tunnel in an active garden bed is simple and repeatable. I dug a narrow trench about 6 to 8 inches deep and 4 to 6 inches wide, running parallel to my plant rows rather than directly under stems. This distance matters. Keeping the tunnel about 6 inches away from main roots avoids root burn, while still allowing nutrients to migrate. Into this trench I placed chopped banana peels and shredded paper in a ratio of roughly 2 parts banana peels to 1 part paper by volume. For example, if I used 2 cups of chopped peels, I added 1 cup of shredded paper. Why chopping and layering matters more than people think is tied directly to decomposition speed. Whole banana peels break down slowly and can attract pests if not buried deeply. Chopping increases surface area and speeds microbial access. I laid down a thin layer of paper first, followed by banana peels, then another light layer of paper. This sandwich structure prevents clumping and ensures even moisture distribution. Once layered, I covered everything fully with soil and watered lightly to activate microbial life. What happened underground within weeks was visible above ground. Within 10 to 14 days, plants nearest the tunnel showed deeper green leaves and stronger vertical growth. Flowering crops produced thicker stems and more buds. In beds with leafy greens, leaf size increased noticeably, without the soft, overly lush growth that comes from excessive nitrogen. Soil texture improved as well. When I later checked the tunnel, earthworm activity had doubled, and the original materials were already breaking down into dark, crumbly, organic matter. One of the biggest advantages of this method is how it improves soil structure over the long term. As paper decomposes, it creates these tiny microchannels that really help with air and water movement. These channels actually stick around even after the paper's broken down, which helps reduce compaction. Now, banana peels, they add these sticky organic compounds which help soil particles bind together into stable aggregates. This means better drainage if you've got clay soils and, well, improved water retention if your soil's sandy. Over time, all those repeated tunnels create what you could call a living, breathing soil profile rather than just a dead growing medium. When and where to use this method really depends on your crop type and the season you're in. This technique works best when your plants are actively growing and, importantly, when the soil's warm enough for microbes to do their thing. For heavy feeders like tomatoes, peppers, bananas, citrus, squash, and maize, you'll want to refresh those tunnels every 4 to 6 weeks. For lighter feeders, honestly, once per season is plenty. If you're working in perennial beds or around fruit trees, it's better to place tunnels in a circular pattern around the drip line rather than right up against the trunk. Knowing what mistakes to avoid will definitely save you a bit of frustration. Never use glossy paper, coloured inks, or cardboard with heavy adhesives. These materials just don't break down well and might introduce chemicals you really don't want in your soil. Avoid placing tunnels directly under seedlings or shallow-rooted plants too. And, well, don't overload the trench. If you pile in too much organic matter in one spot, you could end up with anaerobic conditions. Honestly, thin, repeated applications will always outperform one massive burial. The reason this method fits so well into an evergreen gardening mindset is because it quite simply turns waste into soil wealth again and again. Your kitchen scraps become fertilizer, paper waste becomes soil structure, and your garden gets more self-sustaining each season. You'll find yourself relying less on bought-in inputs while actively boosting soil biology. This is regenerative gardening in action, not just theory. If this method's helped you look at soil fertility in a new light, do subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more deep, practical techniques that actually work in real gardens. Share this video with a fellow gardener who's still tossing banana peels away, and if you'd like a follow-up on using this method with other kitchen scraps or adapting it for container gardens, just leave a comment below. Your soil will thank you, and so will your harvest.